Welcome back, and we have with us detailed view of the elections verdict impact on the bullion sector with Mohit Kamboj, who's President, India Bullion and Jewellery Association, and Vijay, of course, continues to be with us in our office here. Mohit, first to you then, and what's your sense? First of all, the BJP victory, did you guess those numbers there, and what does this really mean for the bullion sector?
देखिए, आज जो एक ऐतिहासिक जीत हुई है, ये जीत हर एक भारतवासी की है और हम लोग हर एक वोटर को, हिंदुस्तान के हर एक नागरिक को धन्यवाद देते हैं जिन्होंने बीजेपी को वोट किया और इतने बहुमत से आज जीत दिलाई। इसी के साथ साथ मैं इंडिया बुलियन ज्वेलर्स एसोसिएशन की तरफ से सभी देश के 50 लाख कारीगर, व्यापारी, बुलियन मर्चेंट रिटेलर्स को धन्यवाद देता हूं कि उन्होंने भारतीय जनता पार्टी को सपोर्ट किया और आने वाले समय में जो 1-1.5 साल से हमारे ऊपर एक सौतेला व्यवहार कांग्रेस सरकार ने किया था, उसका जवाब आज हर व्यापारी ने अपना वोट का अधिकार यूज करके कांग्रेस को दिया है।
फेयर पॉइंट दैट मोहित, लेकिन अब आपको क्या लगता है, अब मोदी सरकार क्योंकि आ रही है, आपको लगता है कि यहां पर पॉलिसी चेंजेस ज्यादा जल्दी होंगे बुलियन सेक्टर के लिए?
देखिए, बुलियन सेक्टर के लिए जितने उन्होंने इसके ऊपर पाबंदियां लगाई थी लास्ट 1-1.5 साल के अंदर, जो 2080 का लगाया था, फिर कस्टम ड्यूटी का इंक्रीमेंट हुआ, फिर आज कस्टम्स वाले गोल्ड इंपोर्ट करने में क्लियरेंस नहीं करते हैं, ऐसे कितने इश्यूज है, ईसीजीसी के इश्यूज है, ऐसे कितने इश्यूज है देश में जेम्स एंड ज्वेलरी इंडस्ट्री को लेके। उसके ऊपर हम लोगों ने पहले भी मोदी जी को और राजनाथ जी को एक प्रेजेंटेशन दिया था कि ये इश्यूज है और हम ऐसा चाहेंगे कि एनडीए की जब सरकार आए उसके बाद ये सब इश्यूज को सॉर्ट आउट करे। और मुझे लगता है आने वाले समय में अच्छे दिन आ रहे हैं और हमारे बुलियन इंडस्ट्री के लिए, ज्वेलरी इंडस्ट्री के लिए भी अच्छे दिन बहुत जल्दी नजदीक आ रहे हैं, जिससे वापस ये सोने की ग्लोरी और सोने की चमक इस व्यापार में वापस दिखने को मिलेगी।
Fingers crossed for that, Mohit ji. Thank you so much for joining us with your sense on what the new government actually can bring in for the bullion sector. Let's also get on board then Mr. Vipul Shah, who's chairman at the Gems and Jewelry Export Promotion Council. Mr. Shah, hi. What's your sense really? What are your expectations on the new government? The new budget would come in as well, and the new policies from the new government.
Burning point from the gems and jewelry industry as a whole is where first of all we'll be asking for a very friendly taxation region to be in to compete with players from Israel, Belgium and Dubai. We need a very simplified tax structure. Over here we have a very complex tax structure. So we will be pitching in for a presumption tax, which will be for to the new government to make this tax structure more simple. And we are not shying away, this industry is not shying away from paying tax, but the problem what this industry faces, that there is a lot of harassment from so many departments. So this industry would always prefer to have one simple tax structure where it will be working good for the government as well as for the industry, and which I can surely say that with this kind of model, where even the government will in the end will be able to collect more taxes, and even our exports of the country will go high in this industry.
Mr. Shah, what tax model are we talking about, and what is the global experience that you have seen learning, and that you will want to inculcate in your presentation to the new government now?
If you see the tax structure in Tel Aviv, they have a turnover tax. In Belgium also they have the similar kind of tax. So this kind of tax, where even if it is applied into India, so this will create more revenue, and it will create more revenue, and it will be a very simple process. So what I personally feel, that if this taxation is taking into place, this will create a lot of revenue for the government, as well as our export for the country of this industry will also go up.
All right, Mr. Shah, we'll let you go as well. So that's the view really coming in from the Export Promotion Council as well on their expectations from the new government. But Vijay, how would you look at it? I mean, if the curbs really are phased out, even in a slow manner, that would really mean that the Indian gold and silver prices then would come down further.
Absolutely, Manisha, because number one, you'll have lower landed cost here. If the rupee was to appreciate further against the dollar, which it is showing signs of appreciating, that would add another factor to lower gold prices. Thirdly, the premium that the street prices are quoting as compared to the financial futures market would also compress. So all these three factors will act in confluence, and in all probability gold prices, along with silver of course, are likely to remain under pressure in the absolute near term. I think there doesn't seem to be too much merit in trying to bottom fish for bargain hunting on the long side in either gold or silver, as I have been talking about since December 2012. I think gold and silver at this point in time will not even yield your cost of carry that you will pay every 60 days to roll your long positions in a buy and hold kind of a mode. And where you're getting 9% interest on a bank FD, paying 18 to 20% cost of carry on an asset which is not even recovering the cost of carry doesn't make sense.
Fair point that. So if the new government does come out and phase out most of those curbs in gold and silver, you will see the prices go for a shot. Let's also get in then Avinash Verma, who's DG ISMA, and he joins us on phone line from Delhi with his views on the impact of the election verdict on the sugar industry. Now, Avinash, hi, welcome. What's your sense? Because sugar industry is one that's quite politically moved, and the new government, with the kind of talks that they have been doing, what kind of policies are you expecting from the Modi government now?
See, first of all, we all know that the sugar industry is very highly controlled. It used to be very badly controlled, I would say, before April 2013, when the previous government, I would say the UPA government, did take decisions to decontrol the sugar sales side. But the reforms are still not complete. The sugar cane side controls are still existing and very badly controlled by the states. The sugar cane prices are still being politically determined. So we would expect the new government to take it forward and take away the politics from sugarcane pricing issue and link the sugarcane price to the revenue realized by the sugar industry. That is one. Two is, if you remember, in 2002, the NDA government had brought in the ethanol blending policy, which the UPA government in 2007 made it mandatory. But the implementation by the OMCs are still not as desirable as it should be. And therefore, we would expect this government to really force issues and ensure that the mandatory blending actually means mandatory, and there is a compulsory blending by the oil companies. But secondly, and very quite importantly, I would say the immediate issue, since the rupee is appreciating and appreciating very fast, which is a good sign for the country as a whole, but it actually puts a threat on sugar imports into the country. At just about 15% import duty, sugar imports have already become a threat. Secondly, on the export incentive scheme, the government did announce 3,300, but suddenly they have reduced it to 2,277, even though they had actually linked it to the rupee-dollar exchange rate. Now that the rupee has appreciated, we expect the new government to increase that export incentive and also increase the imported duty on sugar.
Avinash, we will let you go. Thank you so much for joining us. So that's the view coming in from the sugar industry on the cane pricing, on the export incentive, and of course ethanol blending. Those are the things that the sugar industry is now watching out for from the new government. Let's also get on board Dhiren Sheth, who's President Cotton Association of India, and he joins us on a phone line from Mumbai as well. Mr. Sheth, hi, welcome. What is now the cotton industry that is looking forward from the new government? What are the new policies that you would be wanting to watch out for?
Well, Manisha, we had a very difficult time in the last 5 years. There was a continuous flip-flop in export policy of cotton. And we are hoping that the new government has a very clear stated policy and a free policy promoting liberalized trade.
Mr. Sheth, what has been the previous experience with the NDA government, and what do you think they would come out with those clearer policies for the sector now?
I would think so. I must say that after a lot of flip-flop in the last government's regime, with the intervention of the Agriculture Ministry and the Agriculture Minister, things had stabilized for the last 2 years, and we hope that the new NDA government continues that policy of free and liberalized trade regime.
Fair point, Mr. Sheth. We will, of course, talk more to you after the new government comes in, and we will, of course, be touching base about those policies as well.